It turned out that Juzi had married Prince Shu Tianran. Everyone had thought if she had gone too far for taking revenge. Meanwhile, Dong'er went to Yuhao and asked him if he was okay. He replied with a yes. On the other side, Juju was very worried about Juzi's future. Fighting was the only thing in Shu Tianran's mind, and if he had become the emperor, it would not be long for a war to start. The tournament was officially going to start from further on, and the crown prince's wife was going to give them a speech. Everyone in the crowd hooted for her. There was a voice who ordered everyone to shut up, and there was an instant silence in the crowd. It was the Dark Holy Dragon, the ultimate Duluo Long Xiao Yao. There was a rumor that the Sun and Moon Empire had a close relationship with them. Even though the rumor was still vague, Yuhao believed they definitely had a close relationship. He also noticed that the one next to the prince does not seem to be Xiao Yao or Jing Hongchen. He believed that he was a mysterious robed man even he could not recognize. He tried to figure out that person's identity. Juzi began her speech by representing the crown prince to welcome all of them present there. She also announced that from the moment onwards, the Elite Soul Masters tournament had officially begun. Yuhao noticed that they ended the speech so simply and realized that it really suited Shu Tianran's style. The first preliminary round had started and the Sun and Moon Royal Academy along with the Dragon Slayer sect were called out to enter the arena. Yuhao laughed and wondered that Shrek Academy must be denied to participate in the first round to decrease the popularity, and it must turned out planned and made the change carefully. The Dragon Slayer was really unlucky to meet the Sun and Moon Academy, but they would be a powerful sect that was being looked down because they were not well known. The referee had arrived the arena, and the participants for the first round from both parties were called to enter the arena. He saw Meng Hongchen joining from the Sun and Moon Academy, and it looked like they were confident in winning the first round. It was announced that the referee had full rights to stop the match and announce the winner if one of the party was unable to continue or admits its defeat. Killing or trying to kill the opponent was forbidden. The match was started, and the both participants ran towards each other. The soul ring combination of the participant from the Dragon Slayer sect was pretty good, but he was rushing towards his opponent. But everyone was confused that why the participant from the Sun and Moon Royal Academy was looking relaxed and carefree. She looked like taking a walk in her garden. She formed 6 soul rings. Everyone was shocked that a person under 20 years of age was actually able to achieve it. She was pressuring her opponent by just showing them. That was the reason she looked calm when her opponent had rushed towards her. She didn't know what martial soul it was as her opponent's body started to move slowly. He was trying to hit her chest with his horns. She went straight through and there were 3 of her on stage. She used the mystic ice reflection and her opponent suddenly fell on the ground. Everyone was shocked that why he had fallen on the ground suddenly. Meng Hongchen was announced as the winner and she was asked to quickly take back his poison or else his life would be in danger. She had a conversation with the referee if he had forgotten that there was going to be a team match in the next round. If he could guarantee that he would not participate in the team match later, only then she was going to detoxify him. One of his team members from the audience shouted at her to detoxify him as he gave her the guarantee that he would not participate in the team match later. Hongchen seemed to improve a lot in the past few years. Yuhao asked Dong'er if she had any contact with those twins during her student exchange and how far was her cultivation at that time. She responded with a yes, saying that she had some contact with her and she used to bother her almost every day. She had no idea how strong Hongchen was at that moment, but she guessed that Hongchen was above her when they were students. He wondered if that was bothersome to her. He smirked and said that his Dong'er was not only capable of attracting men but women too. She got pissed and denied with his thought. Participants for the second round were called out to enter the arena. That time, Feng Shun came out to join from the Dragon Slayer sect who was also competing against Hongchen. She pronounced his name as Fenshin, at which he corrected her, but Hongchen thought that Feng Shun sounded good and mighty. They were commanded to go to their ends and prepare themselves and the battle begun. Yuhao commented that Feng was very fast as he had already started targeting her. He took his eagle wings out. His martial soul looked like some kind of a thunder eagle. It looked like he was planning to defeat her in single strike. But she had shielded herself that backed him off and he also fell on the ground. That shield was not any ordinary one and looked like a level 7 shield soul guide. The Dragon Slayer team gave up and said that he would not be participating in the team match. They requested her to detoxify him, and just like that, Meng Hongchen had won the second round too. In the next matches, she had defeated several members of her opposing team with poison. In the end, the Sun and Moon Royal Academy had advanced from the opening match without having a team match because they had full points. Brother Sanshi questioned Yuhao that if they were going to fight them, especially Hongchen, who amongst them he had thought was suitable to win against her. He responded that considering that she was capable of controlling a level 7 soul guide and was Jing Hongchen's granddaughter, it was him who was capable to defeat her. Sanshi completely agreed with him. He also asked that if they would meet them, what the probability that they could win was. Yuhao replied that it was more than 80%. He continued saying that they had him on their side. He alone was capable to kick half of them out. Sanchi disagreed with him. He meant that how could he beat half? He was capable of beating the entire team on his own. The other team member pulled his ears and scolded him, saying that he should have learned how to be truthful. Brother G commented that if they give him a change, he would also like to fight against them. The following matches were quite interesting because it was manually knocking down each other's opponents. Each competing team was able to try their best. Although there were some tragic matches, and one by one, the participating teams had moved forward slowly. There were also some familiar faces who participated. One of them was Princess Weina and Mu Shui, representing Ice Demon Sect from Heaven Dao Empire. Although Princess Weina was not defeated, but Mu Shui was the true star of that match. The morning matches were carried out till 12 noon, and the afternoon matches were carried out till late evening. Currently, there were 9 star teams that were qualified to move on to the next round, and there were also 26 other teams who had passed. Among them, each team had different power, but even though it was formidable, it was not until the one had reached the concerned time. Yuhao communicated to Donger to go and get something to drink. She asked him if he was not tired. He wanted to go because he was tired and wanted to relax a bit. She agreed with him to go back and said that they would take a test as soon after relaxing a bit, as they had a match the next day. They had arrived to the Mengdu Hotel bar, where Donger had a conversation with Yuhao, asking if his legs and arms were okay. She continued speaking that it had been a few weeks already, so why wasn't his body healing and what was wrong with his wound? He questioned her if he looked too pathetic to her like that. He said that it was going to be fine, and he was allowing his body to heal on its own. He also stated that just to watch her sleep every night beside him was one of the most comforting thing for him ever. Senior sister Xiaoya was sitting behind and tried to bring herself in attention. He responded to her that why was she signaling him and asked if something was wrong. She posed him that what were his thoughts on the matches of that day. He replied that something was being schemed with the tournament as a cover. She queried if he was sure about that after participating and winning the previous tournament. He explained to her that the situation was very complicated in the present tournament. He further said that in the present-day matches, although Meng Hongchen's match was considered one of the best performances, if it was not for the soul guide she was having, she wouldn't have had an easy time winning her opponents. As soon as the match had started, the opposing team had lost their main powerhouse, so it was expected from them to lose. She thought that the Shrek Academy's glory that was built over years was about to crumble up at that tournament. She felt that Elder Zhuan would not leave them if that had happened. He inquired if Chor was still in that team or not, and said that in one-on-one, even he could not beat her. She responded that if both of them were in the same team, then she could be assured that the academy was winning, but if she was alone, Chor could barely manage anything. It was hard to say, but according to Yuhao, Chor's fighting would be harder than what they had expected. She posed if he knew her that well. He warned her to watch her words. There was another thing she had to tell him, and it was that the Corpse Sect was also participating in the tournament. Besides that, some senior members of Corpse Sect were sneaking into Mingdu, and it was becoming hard to tell what they were planning to do. She wondered if she was thinking too much about it, and she was sure that Shrek was not their target that time. She asked him about Bei and how he was doing. He told her that he was doing okay, but he was not able to participate in the tournament because of his injuries. She suggested to let him rest, and he should rest too, as they had a match the next day. She wished him luck and went away from there. It was hard to tell for Yuhao about what the Corpse Sect were up to, and the news of them participating was spreading very fast. But the Holy Spirit Sect was the thing that worried Donger the most. She commented that there was something definitely wrong with them. Yuhao felt if Brother Bei and Sister Xiaoya were not there for him at that time, he would not be where he was. Even if she was not recognizing him, he would make hers and Bei's wish come true, and that was to rebuild the Tang Sect. Donger was excited to help him in that. Suddenly, a girl came running towards Donger and hugged her tightly. She asked her where she had been. Donger asked why she was looking for her. Donger was disguised as a guy the whole time, and the girl thought she was Wang Dong. She requested her to participate on behalf of Shrek Academy, as she just got no from the committee, that she was going to participate on the behalf of Tang Sect, and asked if she was trying to pretend on purpose. Donger responded that she was not trying to pretend, she was just participating on behalf of her sect. She further added if she had nothing else to say, then they would go and head back to get some rest as they had a match the next day. She got sad that Donger was leaving very soon and exclaimed to her that it would be a cakewalk to win a match with her strength. Donger asked if she wasn't already tired from that day's matches. She got emotional that Donger cared about her. Yuhao told her to take her time to talk and headed back first. The girl didn't find Yuhao annoying anymore, and it seemed like he understood Wang Dong's situation well. Donger warned her not to talk about him in that way anymore. She added that if it wasn't for him, she would not be where she was at that time. She apologized to her and said that she had just thought that he would not be the guy her grandfather had told her about. Dong-er questioned what her grandfather said about her Yuhao. She answered that he called him wise, cunning, patient, and talented. The next day, when Yuhao was about to step into the arena, Juju commented in surprise that disabled people were participating too. Sanshi asked Yuhao if he really wanted to be the one to go. He nodded in agreement and asserted that he should be the one as it could also hide most of their strength and asked him not to be worried. He knew his limit. The referee questioned the Tang Sect members that why they were sending a disabled person into the arena. Dong-er angrily questioned him that who did he think he was calling a disables. He got scared of her and mentioned that he was just making sure they were sending the right guy. Yuhao commanded Dong-er to go down and wait for him. The referee had already mentioned the rules the previous day and didn't find a need to mention it again. He called out both parties and requested to go to their positions. As Yuhao was going to his position, his opponent stopped him and commented that why he was leaving without telling him his name. He thought of him as a repulsive brat who had not even bothered to look at him from the start until he called him out. He decided to use the most cruel method to torture Yuhao and told him to just wait as he made sure he would suffer worse than death. He reminded that his name was Zhu Shenshu. Yuhao apologized that he forgot to tell his name and mentioned that he was Huo Yuhao. Both of them were requested to return to their respective sides. Participants from Earth Dragon Sect really had no combat experience, but they had announced themselves that the Soul Master for first match was an attack type. People saw Yuhao from the audience and called him Cripple, saying he looked like the champion from the previous tournament. The other person said that he was just going to fly in a single punch. Hong Chen questioned if he was really disabled. The girl beside her responded that looking at Wang Dong's expression that time seemed like it was not a lie, as it felt like she was just about to eat her up. Hong Chen was disappointed, as she had thought that Yuhao was the only PNA who could be her opponent. She assumed that the Earth Dragon Sect was stupid. It seemed they were underestimating as the rest of them were pros. She mentioned to that girl that between Meng, she was saying again that she had zero chance with Wang Dong. She and him had no chance even in the future, and she would be the one getting hurt. She got angry and responded that it was going to be fine as long as Dong would decide to join the Sun and Moon Empire, and she would kill her if she had hurt him. But Hong Chen couldn't do anything, and said that the most important thing for them was to pass and meet them in the final round.